Scott. Hi. Everyone digesting their lunch? It's like the perfect time to go on stage. So I'm Joe, and I'm a mattress salesman. I can say as a child, I aspired. I told my parents, someday, Mom, Dad, I'm going to be a mattress salesman. And you chuckle for good reason, because buying a mattress, well, the people who aspire to be mattress salesmen, according to customer satisfaction data, are used car salesmen. It's pretty high up there on the rank of pleasurable roles and experiences for customers. And we're going to talk a little about what's been happening in the industry and our little piece on that. To get started, though, we put together just a little sizzle video. I won't be so bold as to assume you all know what Purple is, so just a little bit about us in general, and then we'll take us way back as to how this happened, what we are, and what we're doing with storytelling.
The Purple Mattress has changed what it means to be comfy. But where did it all begin? The year was 1989. Two brainy brothers decided to join forces to change comfort forever. One, a rocket scientist. The other, a comfort tech genius, would spend the next 29 years developing over 100 patents. This led to their greatest breakthrough yet. The Purple Grid. A unique technology that dynamically reacts to pressure. In other words, it's super comfy. And then they thought, hey, we should put this in beds. So they did. In 2016, the Purple Mattress was introduced to the world. It shipped out directly to customers and instantly became a resounding success across the internet and across the world. Fast forward to today. Purple has grown astronomically, producing a line of fantastic comfort-based products, all the while improving the technology that goes into every Purple mattress. Purple mattresses are now sold in over 1,000 stores, and our viral ads have grossed over 1.5 billion views. And customers agree. Life is better on Purple.
So a couple things to just note there. We're actually only a 3-year-old company, 3.5 years, with really remarkable growth. We went to almost 300 million in our first 3 years. But we're built on the shoulders of a company that's been around for about 30 years with bed-type technologies for about 25 years, and some innovation and technology that we've been perfecting for decades. It's the internet allowed us to actually create a consumer company. We'll talk about how we launched that, and it's a very different business to do that than just invent, license, and put the product in other people's technology. So let's see here. So let's talk about the bed industry a little bit. I talked about the joy of being a mattress salesman. The reality is, for decades now, there really hasn't been a lot of innovation in beds. It's been owned really by a few major players, own most of the brands. And walking into a mattress store, which was really the only place you could go to get a mattress, either a department store or a mattress store, the economics of mattresses, a high price point item, you really only have to sell a few of these a day to have a profitable business. It's really kind of remarkable how the industry can work, but it means you're walking into an experience with a bunch of, to a consumer anyway, undifferentiated product that seems to be asking for trade-offs that are hard to reconcile. Too firm, too soft, too hot, too cold, all these different technologies, this wide range of price points, and you're often the only one in the store. I mean, it's kind of like walking into a great sports bar and no one's there. It's just, you don't really get that great retail vibe when it's you and a sales rep and no one else is there. So the internet came along and said, there has to be a better way. And a whole lot of companies have spun up with a very simple value proposition, a better way to buy a mattress. And we're tracking over 100 of these now. It's one of the hottest new categories in the internet. Of course, marketing costs have skyrocketed. The acquisition costs for a mattress online are in the hundreds of dollars, 300 or more. And even Amazon got into it, not only as one of the largest sellers of online mattresses, over $2 billion they're expected this year, but they've even launched their own Amazon Basics mattress, where you can pick up a mattress on Amazon for $400 or $500, and that's actually an Amazon box there. Real branded Amazon experience there, where you can get this mattress delivered right to your door. And that's great. Though it's interesting, with so many players and so many great claims, it's almost the same thing we had in the mattress store, which is in the spirit of consumer centricity and making it easier for the customer. you've ended up with just another sea of confusion and seemingly undifferentiated, commoditized, increasingly inexpensive product. So we came at this a different way. Sure, there can be a better way to buy a mattress, but what about solving a different challenge, which is, how about a better mattress? And that's where we took our decades of experience and said, let's put this into something very, very different. And our technology at our core, we are a manufacturer, we make our own product, and we make something that only we have and no one else has. So I've got a little video here that talks a little bit about our technology.
I'm Terry Pierce. My brother Tony and I started working on high-tech cushioning together about 30 years ago. We have a lot of fun at Purple. We have fun at work. We have fun with science in our videos. But when it comes to our products, we are serious about science. The Purple hyperelastic polymer works on a principle called column buckling. You can see on the side the buckling of the columns as it supports the load in a wider and wider area to keep the pressure uniform. I love it because the pressure points go away. I love it because it supports my back and it's easy on my shoulders. So we use science not only to develop the products and the technologies, but to build the machines that mold them. These are machines that don't exist anywhere else in the world. Purple's hyperelastic polymer is such a great technology. It can be applied anywhere you need comfort.
So we've got this amazing technology, and let's flash back a little. So it's 2015. We've got this amazing technology. We've got decades of experience. It has magical properties. All of you in your tote bags you got have a little sample. We call these things squishies. I challenge you to put it down. They're a lot of fun to play with. It gives you a sense of what our material is made of, this elastic polymer we've invented. But the technology is pretty interesting. And unlike, say, memory foam, which you put your hand in and it slowly sinks and absorbs, and you take it away and it remembers. It's got memory. You've got an imprint, which means if you want to roll over or move, you got to kind of wait for it to rebound. And foams get hot, and foams don't breathe well. We've come up with something that is just magical. It's mostly air, which means high airflow. It doesn't get hot, and it instantly supports and reacts to anywhere you have pressure or need support while creating an enormous amount of surface area around. And when we started this 25 years ago, it was actually for medical applications. We were building these for emergency care services with things like burn unit victims, where if you're head-to-toe burns and you're in a life-threatening situation, you want perfectly even weight distribution. You don't want any pressure anywhere. You want high airflow. You want to stay cool. And our applications were perfect for that, and we've been doing that for decades, and into things like wheelchair pads and all sorts of life-changing needs that our technology has been a perfect application for. And the idea is, okay, let's take this to the market. So it's 15. No one knows us. We haven't launched our brand yet. We've got this differentiated technology. How do we bring this to market? What's the story we can tell? How do we put ourselves out there? We looked around, and one thing we saw is video looked interesting to us. It was still kind of underutilized. If you think at this time, so Dollar Shave Club about 2.5 years earlier had done their launch video. It had gone really well for them, a few 100 million views. Really hadn't been a lot of other major successes, and this is before Unilever bought them, so most Americans certainly didn't know Purple. We didn't exist yet, and even things like Dollar Shave Club were still niche plays, still the disruptors. So we looked at it and we thought, hey, video seems to be an opportunity there. So, hey, why don't we spend, I don't know, maybe like $500,000 and put all our marketing dollars into one video, and let's make it 4 minutes long to explain our technology. That'll work. And that's what we did. But we did it a different way. We looked a lot at what was working out there. And we were digital folks. We had some sense of what's happening on the internet. We hired an amazing agency, a local shop there called Harmon Brothers, who knew how to do viral videos. We hired a comedy troupe, and comedy troupes are great. They understand timing and messaging and just the dynamics of this thing, and we tested the heck out of it. So I'm gonna play just the first 20 seconds of the launch video we did and how we sort of started this.
What's a super easy way to tell that your bed is awful? The raw egg test. Let me prove it.
So 4 minutes more beyond that, or another 3.5 minutes beyond that. And the thing took off like wildfire. Now, part of what we did is we tested the heck out of this. We used comedians. Comedians are interesting. If you've ever watched comedians work or done, gone to little stand-up shows, they're constantly testing new material. They're constantly trying different jokes and ways to approach things, and they're refining their routine all the time based on the laughs and the reaction. And we actually did something similar. Working with them, we shot lots and lots of cuts and versions and variations of this and started putting them out there to see what resonated. And we tested the opening messages. I mean, the opening message here, it's kind of a hostile message. Here's a really simple way to determine that your bed is awful. I don't really know if your bed is awful or not. But we were wrestling with another thing. If our bed is truly a new advancement in technology, differentiated better, then by definition, everything else must be a little worse. And how do we start to lean into that and get that message out there, but do it in a playful, non-offensive way? And the video leans into that. Only comedians will come up with lines. So like halfway through the video, she says, "We didn't fake it. These are real eggs. How lame would it be if we faked it? And how lame are you for even thinking it?" Because most consumers were thinking it at that point and just called it out. And comedians also give you great lines like, foam mattresses collapse over time like cheap sneakers or Anakin Skywalker. I assure you, our copywriters can't come up with lines like that. Now they can, but not back then. So we used this and we pushed it out there, and it began to give us some brand recognition and got us a lot of attention. And honestly, at that point, our issue wasn't awareness, our issue was capacity. How do we just keep up with this demand and growth that was happening? So we continue to lean into that. Get to the next slide here. Whoops. And one of the interesting things we did, which I think turned out to be far riskier than we realized at the time, but really had been the lifeblood of our growth, is we continued down this path. Hey, that video worked. Let's do it again. And we've got up here like 9 different screenshots of videos we did. Each one of these cost us between $50,000 and $200,000. We were putting a lot of money behind videos. And at most companies, my experience has been, that's a lot of money, and it's kind of a one-time campaign, and you might do that once or twice a year, and it damn well better work. And to us, it's, some of these missed. Some of these weren't great. And we did it for different products. We did it for the base, we did it for the foundation, we did it for the sheets, we did it for the mattress protector. That one actually is one that worked really well. It's Bigfoot, and with their little mini Littlefoot, I don't know, the baby Bigfoot, and showing how if it can handle the woods and this crazy beast. Certainly it'll work for you. But these things resonate. I had a 25-year-old come up to me last week and said, "Hey, I just bought your bed because of the Bigfoot commercial." Who knew? But we kept putting them out there, and the idea was keep the narrative going, keep the story going. It doesn't matter if some of them work or some of them don't, because the lift and leverage we would get on the ones that did work more than offset the ones that didn't. And the game was just keep this going, keep working. We brought it all in-house. We have our own studio now. We shoot it all ourselves, and it really became part of our DNA. And that's how we got to what you saw in the beginning, which is now 500 million views on the launch video alone, but 1.5 billion views across all our videos, which is like media company type levels. These are advertisements for mattresses and ancillary products, and we're at 1.5 billion views of these videos. It's really pretty remarkable. So then the next question is, okay, we've done that, but it's still kind of a mass approach. It's still kind of a get these videos out there and hope that you get this crazy virality, this crazy scale. How do we start to now go after different audiences? Because our ads, at their core, they're a little male, a little young, a little sophomoric. How do we start to find other audiences in other places? And we started to look at ways to put more data science. So I'm going to give a little case study now of something we did with a couple of comedians, Tim and Eric. On the surface, you might see this. If you're a Tim and Eric fan, you might go, this is awesome. When I joined the company, actually one of our next presenters emailed me and said, "I love Tim and Eric. That's so cool that you did that." I myself, not a Tim and Eric fan. I saw it and I thought, what? This is weird. But that's the point. And I'm going to show you this little case study on how we found this audience, targeted to them, and did some really interesting things in getting it right for this audience.
Can branded content drive sales? First, we thought about an audience. The data showed us people that don't sleep well are up late on their phones. And what's more, they're up latest on their phones on Sunday nights. Why? The Sunday Scaries, that feeling of impending doom as your carefree weekend turns into work week worries.
Been there.
Then we thought about content. In partnership with comedians Tim and Eric, we conceived the Purple Boys.
Purple Boys. Release your mind. Let the sleep flow through you.
Do you have 2 minutes of time to let me help you sleep?
This is finally sleep you can count on.
It's time to sleep.
A 6-episode content series, uniquely produced for where people that can't sleep are at, on their phones. We worked with Tim and Eric to create 72 short-form assets designed for the entire suite of Facebook and Instagram mobile formats, and designed a lower funnel system that tested 3 different motivating factors, saw what was driving brand building, awareness, and sales driving conversion, and optimized the content week to week.
He's asleep.
The results? In 12 weeks, the campaign received 8.5 million views, 35,000 shares, 32,000 comments, brand building success in recall, awareness, and preference over other mattress brands, and a 3.4 times return on ad spend by directly driving thousands of online purchases.
My legal department has control over us. It's starting to get not just about the narrative and the storytelling, but how do we tell the right stories to the right people? How do we get the right message out there? And it's amazing how much data science, just like those comedians in the beginning who knew how and helped teach us the power of variations and finding what works, we're getting much, much more scientific and much more granular. And in fact, even in that regard, one of the leads on that, which we did this in partnership with Facebook, is now at Agency Within, who you'll be hearing next, who's helping us with a lot of the data science on performance marketing. So you'll hear a little about that momentarily. So even beyond that, here's the interesting thing. For all the money that we've spent, and we spend 30% of revenue on marketing. We put a lot of money behind this. It's interesting. The number one self-reported way that consumers hear about Purple has been and maintains and continues to be word of mouth. On the strength of the product, on the strength of the connection, on the strength of the benefit that this differentiated product has really had on people's lives, and that's amazing. And that has started to shift our thinking on how we storytell moving forward as well. Because it really is about the benefit, and we have enough years of experience now and enough longitudinal evidence of what this has really done for people's lives. This isn't a cheap mattress that you get for $400 and in 3 years you regret your purchase. It's like in the fast fashion days of buying a $9 pair of jeans. Looks great, just don't wash it more than 4 times. It's how do we actually start to lean on that? And it's about the power of now our customers and our influencers being storytellers. And this next slide is just an example of some things we're starting to lean into now, which is leveraging key influencers who are truly leaning into. You'll see here, this isn't young boys. This is moms and women and people who manage the look and feel of their home. This is the female head of household, which is the buyer in furniture and mattresses and bedding and the bedroom, and starting to recognize that we've got a connection with them as well, and how do we start to evolve now our brand into more of a storytelling capability around these benefits and where, again, despite all this work, where it really is happening, which is that word-of-mouth connection on the product itself and the benefit. And that's really, I think, what you'll start seeing us doing a lot more moving forward. So with that, thank you very much.